I am Natasha, and today this video is going to be a video about shadow work. But first off, I'd like to give a shout out to all of my viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for joining on this channel, and I hope your time on my channel is time well spent. So let's look at what we're going to do today. Today's reading is going to be a shadow work reading. This reading will help you with your shadow work by showing you the dynamics and the qualities that you need to work on. And as you can see, I'm going to draw 4 cards, one for the core quality, one for the trapping of that quality, the positive opposite or the advice, what you should be doing, or the challenge, which it usually is, and the allergy, which is when you tip the scales from this element to that element. And there you get insight in a dynamic that is working within you. This is the quality that you can develop if you face this challenge. But you can also fall into this trap and then end up bouncing back and forth between these two. But what you want to do is realize that these two are your trappings, and from there you can move on to develop in a healthy way so that you can develop your core quality. This is the process of reintegration of your shadow side. These 2 cards are representative of your shadow side. Usually when you see these elements in other people, you have strong reactions to it. You might feel a strong sense of you might have strong adverse reactions to it. I call it allergies, or something. Sometimes you can even feel disgusted in some way, because when you see it in others, you see it more clearly than when you see it in yourself. And these feelings, these reactions on other people's behavior are an indication of the qualities that you carry within you, which are in this dynamic. So let's get some insight in this dynamic. There are 4 choices to choose from. I've picked the clear andara. Maybe I should do it this way. This is the clear andara. This is the first choice. This is the golden andara, the second choice. The third choice is the amber andara. And the 4th choice is this black andara. So take a moment to choose. You can use the timestamps in the description box below, and we can continue on this reading. Before we get started, please subscribe, like, and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, if you want a private reading, please contact me by email, and you can also check out my Patreon for free readings, discounts, and exclusive videos. If you feel these readings help you, please consider a donation via PayPal. And for more personal interaction and day cards, join my Facebook group Pegasusy Tarot Club. And you can also find me on Instagram under the same name. Links are all in the description box below. So let's get started. For those of you who chose the clear andara, this is your reading. So these are your cards. In the core quality we find the 3 of Pentacles. In the trapping we find the 6 of Pentacles. In your challenge we find the Hanged Man. And your allergy is the 9 of Cups. And the Oracle card is Protecting Treasure. Now we have a very clear story here. First off, your core quality is about creativity, creating, being able to finish projects, to take on projects, to start new things, even when you're scrutinized, and helping others as well. Teaching, learning, creating, making new things, working with your hands as well. You could very well be an artist or a very creative person, and you have the possibility to entirely develop this quality. This is a core quality, it's part of who you are, and this quality has potential to bring you very, very far in life. But your trapping is the 6 of Pentacles, and that means that you may be overdoing it, you may be overly generous, you may be giving your work away for free or not asking enough money for the work that you make, for the work that you do. So it's about valuing your own creations, valuing your own contributions, and this tells me that you're giving it away. You're giving way more than you should, way more than is healthy, and that means that the challenge is to change your way of looking. You must ask yourself the question, why am I giving things away so easily? Why am I giving more than I should, more than is healthy? What is the motive that is behind that? You need to kind of turn your world upside down and use your motives not as your motives, but as what you accomplish with it. So look at it from the other way around. You need to shift your perspective about what is valuable, what you think is valuable. Is your work valuable or not? You may feel that you're over asking if you ask more for your work, but you need to consider, why are you giving it away for so little? Now, a little bit of the answer can be found in this allergy card, the 9 of Cups, because this card tells me that what you are allergic for is people who do not necessarily want to strive for more. People who aren't actively contributing or working on things, they are fine where they are. And that is something that irks you. It gives a strong reaction in you, and that is the key to why you are giving yourself and your work away for so little, why you give so much and ask so little in return. And you need to look at it in a different perspective. You need to change your perspective on it. Because what is going on right now is that you are in your negative state, you are switching between the 6 of Pentacles, giving too much, overdoing it, and then turning into the 9 of Cups, where you sit down and say, you know what, I've done enough, I'm not going to do anything anymore. But these are two opposites, and they are very far apart. These are ends of the spectrum, and you need to find this middle ground where you give as much as you want to give, as much as you can give, but not so much as that you are doing yourself short. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but you need to find that balance somehow, and you need to change your perspective on why you are doing it. And the reason why you are giving too much is because you are so allergic for not contributing at all. So There is this balance to be found, and then we find this oracle card that speaks of protecting treasure, which means that you are not protecting your treasure enough. You are giving it away. You don't see the value of what you contribute. You need to relearn the value of what you contribute. Maybe in material sense it isn't worth much, but it has a bigger meaning, a more spiritual meaning. This card is also very much about the spiritual perspective on things. So what you contribute may be not much worth in material sense, but in spiritual sense it is. It's very valuable. And you need to recognize that it is a treasure that needs to be protected and not given away for less than it's actually worth. So I hope this reading gives you some insight in the dynamics and gives you some pointer on where you can work on in your shadow work. So I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. For those of you who chose the golden andara, I hope the lighting, there it comes. This is your reading. Your cards, let's turn them over and see what we have here. At your core quality we find the Page of Wands. At your trapping we find the Eight of Wands. Your challenge is the Empress. And your allergy is the Seven of Wands. And the oracle card is intention. Now, what do we have here? At your core quality, we find the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, in this case, very strongly hints towards your unused creative potential. You are, in potential, a very creative person. You are sensitive, magnetic, attractive, energetic, and you have the ability to make things grow and make things better than they were before, or even creative in the sense that you create things with your hands. But you can also be a musician or an artist or whatever creative potential that is inside you. This is your core quality. This is what you intrinsically carry with you. This is what you can develop in your life to its fullest potential. But there is this trapping, and your trapping is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is the card of letting things go and see where they end up. Not interfering with the things that are going on, letting things go their own way, and then see where all it ends up. It's in actuality a pretty passive card. The energy is very active because things are moving, things are in motion, but the outcome is undetermined, and this card strongly suggests that no one, and especially you, are not interfering in where this outcome is. But this is your trapping. Sometimes it is good to let go, but in your case, you are letting things take their own course way too much, and therefore you lose control over your life, over your circumstances, and over your creative potential. The challenge for you is to know when to let go and know when to assert, like the Empress. The Empress is the symbol for fertility and creativity. I always compare the energy of the Empress with having to prepare a meal with an onion and a carrot and then making an awesome meal. Making much from very, very little. But that is a fine balance between control and letting go, and that leads to fertility. But if you let things go entirely their own course, that would mean that you throw this onion and a carrot in a pan or not even cook them and serve them to your guests, and that will be the meal. Well, I don't think your guest will be very, very happy. This Empress does interfere with the outcome. She does give her own input in the creative process, where she takes this onion and she takes this carrot and she cuts them up and she cooks them and she fries them, and she adds some salt and herbs and makes a wonderful meal that actually tastes good. So what your challenge is learning when to let go and when to assert yourself and assert your creative potential, so that you can actually contribute in the process of these dandelion seeds that are flying through the air on their way to the place of landing. You could see this as slightly blowing the seeds in the direction where you know they will land in fertile soil, so that you influence the way things are going in such a way that they will yield positive results. And your allergy is what happens if you do let this go too much. If you don't interfere at all, if you're much like drifting on the flow of life, absolutely not correcting the course whenever and wherever you end up. And that will lead to situations where you find yourself in a predicament. You may have to defend yourself. You may have to defend your motive, your intentions, the reason why you did things the way you did things, or why you did not interfere. And it makes you feel defensive. You have to defend who you are or why you do things the way you're doing them. But these cards suggest that you actually, if you do take a little more control, you could avoid this situation. Take this example of the meal with the onion and the carrot. If you don't cook them and just serve them to your guest, this is the reaction you're going to get. This is what you're going to serve me? So that is the situation where you end up, and in a negative state you will be constantly moving between letting go too much and therefore ending up in a situation where you have to defend yourself. Now, I also like to point out the similarities in these two cards. They're both blowing things in the wind, but she has this basket with fruits and flowers and things that she's grown, things that she put something of herself in. She worked in the garden to grow these fruits and these flowers, and then she picked them and she put them in the basket, and now she can send them out into the world. And this is much like these seeds, they are just standing there. Dandelions are considered a weed, even though they are a herbal medicinal plant, but still they are just there, so you just pick whatever is near you and then blow it into the wind, and that's the easy way out. So it seems that you're avoiding effort. And then we go to this oracle card, and this asks you to look at your intention. What is your intention? Do you really want to accomplish something in this world? And what is it that you want to accomplish? Do you have a goal where you're working towards? Is there something that you want to do? And if so, will you be able to do it if you take this stance? Or will it work out better if you do this? I can already tell you the answer, because the way out is to learn how to use your own creative potential and add it to the circumstances in order to steer them in such a way that they can grow and prosper. And then you won't find yourself in this situation anymore, because then you've bypassed this negative dynamic and you are using your creative potential, and that allows you to grow as a person as well. So I hope this reading was useful for you, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye! For those of you who chose the Amber Andara, these are your cards. Let's turn them over. Your core quality is the Six of Swords. And the trapping is the Three of Cups. Your challenge is the Five of Swords. And your allergy is the Ten of Pentacles. And your oracle card is the card of Sad Embrace. Now this makes perfect sense to me. Let me begin with the Six of Swords. This is your core quality. This is an intrinsic part of who you are, an ability that you have that you must work on, and this is this shadow work that you need to do. This card implies that you take whatever is absolutely necessary and very worth for you, very valuable for you, and leave a situation in order to go somewhere entirely new and start all over again. So this is the thing that you need to work on, and you are avoiding it. You are avoiding it by means of this card, the trapping, the Three of Cups. It doesn't seem like a trap because it's all fun and dandy. There's a lot of social activity going on. There's fun. There may be even drinking, maybe drinking more than is good for you, but very sociable, very fun drinking activities. With friends, mostly friends, but people who are close to you as well. And that makes you forget about the situation, that makes you entirely forget about this need that is there. And your challenge is the Five of Swords. You need to take it on. You need to face it. You need to confront your fears. You need to confront the idea that you need to leave something behind in order to satisfy this feeling that you are trying to avoid, that you are trying to escape from. What it is, I am not sure, but I'll come back to that later. Let me first explain this card. This card is your allergy, and it's the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is about prosperity, multi-generational prosperity, a family that can live in material and financial security, no worries whatsoever, and somehow that irks you. Somehow this makes you feel uncomfortable. If you see it in others, it brings about a strong reaction in yourself. And then you probably escape again in this Three of Cups situation, because in the negative state you are constantly moving between this Three of Cups, the trapping, and the allergy of Ten of Pentacles. This will evoke, or this will evoke this, or the other way around inside of you, and therefore you're avoiding the the reality that you need to face. There is something, and these are swords, and this means that you're battling with ideas, and there is this thing that you're trying to bury under all kinds of fun and pleasurable activities. But you need to face it, you need to confront it. There is something in your relationships that you need to let go. And that is what this sad embrace card is about. You need to let go of a relationship. And I won't tell you what kind of relationship it is, because that is not visible in this reading. But there is this maybe toxic relationship, or I believe it's a relationship that is stunting your ability to reach this situation for yourself. Something in your relationships is preventing you from accomplishing the situation of financial stability, not only for you, but for the generations after you as well. So financial prosperity. And the only way that you can come here is by face it, confront it, know what you need to do. You need to cut people out of your life. You need to take what is most valuable for you and move somewhere else to be able to start over. And in that case, you will definitely be able to accomplish this for yourself, and therefore remove this allergic reaction that you have whenever you see this situation in other people. So I hope this gave you some insight on how you can deal with the situation, and what the goal of your shadow work could be. So I hope this was useful, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. For those of you who chose the black andara, so let's turn over the cards. The core quality, we find the Six of Pentacles, and the trapping is the Two of Wands. The challenge is the Ace of Swords, and your allergy is the Moon. And the oracle card is the One Ring Circus. Now let's see what we have here. Let's begin with your core quality, the Six of Pentacles. This is an intrinsic part of who you are. This is something that you can develop if you do the work, the shadow work in this case. This is about reciprocity, about giving and receiving, being able to give freely without hesitation or reserve, and also being able to receive freely without hesitation or reserve. But this is not really developed in the way it should be, because there is some shadow work to do for you. And it pertains mostly about this trapping, the Two of Wands. I usually consider the Two of Wands the creating of a safe haven, a stable base, a certain balance in the situation, from where you can dream into the future and make plans and garner ideas to what you can accomplish in this world. Now, the trapping here is that it seems that you either have trouble getting this situation in order, either trouble finding the balance, finding the safe haven, creating it for yourself so that you have this place that you can work from. But it can also mean that you feel that what you have is not enough. It's not offering enough stability or safety, or not enough feeling for you that you have this place to work from. So what it does is it makes you constantly busy getting your own business in order. And there's always something that needs to be perfected or that needs to be done. And you just keep on working on this base, fine-tuning it, making it more stable, making it more safe, better for you to work from, while it is in fact already quite good. But somehow you feel rather insecure about it. Your challenge is to realize that. The Ace of Swords is about a realization, about a new idea, a clear insight, a clear insight in the situation. So it tells me that the challenge is that what you feel is not necessarily how things are. You need to be a little more rational, a little more pragmatic even, to get this aspect of yourself in order so that you can move on, because now you get stuck in this situation and it will bring you nowhere. You won't be able to accomplish anything because you keep working on the base instead of instead of building walls and building out. And your allergy is the moon, and this is about feelings, about intuition, and these things tell me are very much confusing you. Like I said, we have this Ace of Swords that tells me that there needs to be more emphasis on the rational aspect of the situation, but you tend to let yourself be guided by very nondescript feelings and very vague emotions and feelings of discontent and not sure what is what you're seeing actually what it is, or is it something different in the daylight. It's a confusing realm where things can seem very much different than they are. And also, because this is in your allergy, it means that you have a pretty strong reaction to people who are very much in tune with this aspect of themselves. So whenever you find someone who is intuitive or able to work their emotions and feelings and intuitions out, you probably feel very much like they are not much grounded, they are not realistic, they are not working, but they're just sitting there pondering and navel gazing. I'm not sure if that's the right translation, but just it doesn't feel like feasible. But in the negative state, you are constantly moving between working on this safe, stable place to work from and the feelings that you have, and these feelings incite you to keep on working on your basis. Well, your basis is probably fine. There's probably nothing wrong with your basis, but there's something wrong about how you assess whether the situation is as needed. Because once you've established this base, you can develop this reciprocity. You can start giving out. You can contribute to the world. You can give your gifts to the world. But you somehow keep yourself from doing it. And I bet that this feeling that you have, this uncomfortable feeling of something is not sitting right, that makes you work on this, is actually that you are not getting beyond this and not getting to do this, and that is what makes you feel that way. But you redirect it in working on your basis. And why do you do that? Well, this card is very much about independence, and somehow independence makes you a bit insecure. You may feel that there's no one to fall back on, that there is no place you can return to if things fail. but what is actually needed here is more self-confidence and a more realistic view of what you've already accomplished. Because my suspicion is that you already have this in order and that you can move on, but insecurities are keeping you from doing that. So I hope this reading gave you some insight in how you can work your shadow work and what you can do and what it is that you need to work on. And I hope this helps you, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye.